Hey everybody, it's Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about social media and its negative effects on society. So, to start us off, did you know that rates for both suicides and self-harm in girls ages 10 to 14 has almost tripled since 2010? According to a study done by the CDC, self-harm is up 189% for preteen girls, and even scarier, we see the same pattern for suicide. They are up 151%. These frightening statistics can be directly linked to social media. Social media is causing society to deteriorate, and it will only get worse with continuing generations as technology advances. Today I'm going to tell you guys how social media is bad for people mentally, how it's causing real-world problems, and why we aren't just going to evolve past it. So, why is social media bad? Social media affects the reward pathway of dopamine in a harmful way. Ann Lamke from Stanford University School of Medicine says, social media is a drug. I mean, we have a basic biological imperative to connect with other people that directly affects the release of dopamine in the reward pathway, to get us to come together in communities, to propagate our species, etc. So there's no doubt that a vehicle like social media, which optimizes this connection between people, has the potential for addiction. Receiving likes on things that people post or comment can make them feel connected or linked with other people, even if it's just through a screen. However, when there is a lack of this dopamine hit that you get from likes, the brain craves it even more. It causes subconscious changes in your behavior by either getting you to succumb to the addiction and go back on social media, or cause increased anxiety and depression that could be avoided without going on social media. Big social media companies are making money off of people just by simply using these platforms, and they're really good at it. Companies that invented these social media platforms are directly manipulating mass populations of people for money. According to Tristan Harris, an ex-design ethicist at Google, at a lot of technology companies there are three main goals. The engagement goal, to drive up your usage, to keep you scrolling. There's the growth goal, to keep you coming back and inviting as many friends, and to get them to invite as many friends as possible. And then there's the advertising goal, to make sure that while all that's happening, we're making as much money as possible from advertising. Each of these goals is run by an algorithm. Big teams of psychologists and coders at these companies have spent years perfecting these algorithms to get people to keep swiping so that way they can keep making money. There are unimaginably massive supercomputers that are capable of running these complex algorithms. They are constantly farming people's data and information in order to learn more about them, so that way they can better recommend the next best thing to them and keep them swiping. Beyond the psychological effects it's having on people, there are a lot of real-world problems happening too. It is bringing together hate groups which are causing chaos around the globe. In an Asian country, Myanmar, the government has been spreading discrimination and hate towards Rohingya Muslims via Facebook. This then led to a massive killing of these Muslims, and many of them had to flee the country. An article by BBC posted in January of 2020 claims, in the last few years, before the latest crisis, thousands of Rohingya made perilous journeys out of Myanmar to escape communal violence or alleged abuses by the security forces. Wikipedia estimates around 650,000 Rohingya Muslims have had to migrate to Bangladesh for refuge in order to escape the hate they received in their own country. 650,000 people and families are terrified, starving, and scarred because of the effects of social media. It's also causing a mass spread of disinformation and political discourse. Because social media has so much information on people, it's really good at predicting the things that they'll like and won't like. For people who get most of their news from social media platforms, this can be really dangerous. If people only show activity when one side of their argument is presented to them on the screen, the algorithm will keep recommending it and showing them things that agree with their opinions and morals. If they never see the other side of the argument, they can become completely oblivious to what's true and what's fake. The news that they see starts becoming more and more opinionated to the point where it becomes their reality, and they reject any opposing arguments thrown at them. This causes discourse between people like we've never seen before. People are refusing to listen to each other simply because of the way that they feel and what they see on social media. Some people argue that we shouldn't be afraid of social media and technology because as humans we've always been able to handle and adapt to things that we've created. Kevin Murphy, a professor of economics from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business claims, I would say, again, the methods used to play on people's ability to be addicted or influenced may be different this time, and they probably are different. They were different when newspapers came in and the printing press came in, and they were different when television came in. But I'm saying the idea that there's a new level and that new level has already happened so many times before. I mean, this is just the latest new level that we've seen. Murphy isn't wrong. We've always been able to go beyond this new level of manipulation. Propaganda has managed to leave the world nearly unscathed until smartphones, that is, besides the tragedy of World War II. However, the issue with that argument is that processing power has increased exponentially since its introduction. Randy Fernando claims that, roughly, if you say from like the 1960s to today, processing power has gone up about 1 trillion times. Nothing else that we have has improved at anything near that rate. Like cars are, roughly twice as fast, and almost everything else is negligible. And perhaps most importantly, our human physiology, our brains, have not evolved at all. Our brains aren't just going to evolve beyond all this extra stress, anxiety, depression, etc. that social media is putting on us. Humans and all other life forms take time to evolve, as we know. This technology that we've invented is slowing down for nobody. It's evolving at rates faster than we've ever seen. This makes us completely unaware of just how powerful technology is, and even worse, how it's being used against us. So while technology does have some great things to it, the negative side effects need to be taken seriously. It's causing people, especially teens, to be more depressed and stressed. It's causing political discourse and crimes worldwide. And while some people aren't afraid, the overall effects of social media on society are visibly destructive and problem-causing. Realistically, the thing that needs to change is the business model where unregulated companies can farm infinite data and use our own human psychology against us for profit. However, for a bunch of college kids, that is impossible. So for now, the best thing we can do is delete social media or at least abstain from it. Thank you.